Hello and welcome, and hail and welcome. Today's episode of Dames and Dragons is brought to us by the Warlock Bestiary from Kobold Press. This new volume of a dozen monsters, featuring artwork by Russ Nicholson, is available to all patrons of $3 or more on the Warlock Patreon, where Kobold Press publishes content from their Midgard setting. Go to patreon.com/koboldpress to become a Warlock patron today and get the Warlock Bestiary Old School Monsters for 5th edition.
Well, we have to do an intro, so for this intro, I want to talk about the time Caitlin murdered me.
I knew it!
Oh, yeah. Well,
I remember that time. Kat, I miss you.
Wait.
Sometimes I still hear your voice.
But
I cry myself to sleep every night just from the guilt of what I've done.
But someone, I feel like, no, I remember I walked into the room.
Yeah.
And someone had murdered Caitlin.
That is true.
Who murdered Caitlin first?
That doesn't sound right.
It was Noelle.
No, oh, yeah, okay. So I walked into the room, right?
No.
And I saw that that Noelle had actually shot Caitlin.
No.
With a missile.
With a missile through the heart.
Yeah.
No.
And then Caitlin in her...
What you say?
Yes. Caitlin in her dying moment shot the missile.
As I fell to the ground, I was aiming for Noelle, but I missed.
And it hit Kat right in the old eyeball.
Yeah.
And then Kat fell down and
What you say?
and then I found a note that Noelle had actually written.
Says, "Dear sister."
So the moral of the story is that I made a shootable rocket with rubber band, and none of us were mature enough to be in the same room as it.
And no one survived.
Everyone died.
Everyone died, and
Podcast
Caitlin hit me
canceled.
in the face.
I did. It was an accident, but I do want to say, I'm very proud of my instinctual aim, just
For the eye.
just that I was able to immediately go for a face.
The lethality.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I mean, Kat would look pretty cool with an eye patch.
She would.
I would. But also I'd look pretty cool with most
Most of your
accessory.
face intact.
True.
Oh, yes.
That's true.
Yes.
I am. As everybody knows, I'm the default template of an anime girl dress-up game, so I
Actually,
look very
yeah,
cool
that's
in
very
all,
true.
all
Wait,
accessories.
Kat, whoa.
Yeah, I just realized that is 100% what Kat is.
That actually explains
Explains a
so
lot.
much.
Yeah.
As I've said before, I'm just an anime girl in an anime world, and let's play D&D. Hi, I'm Kat. I am your DM.
Hi, I'm Noelle, and I play Fran, Water Genasi Wizard at level 7.
I'm just trying to think of a good follow-up.
Oh, okay, I'll give you time. I'll stall.
Thanks.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Hannah Colbert. I play Slake, a level 7 half-orc fighter. And boy, is it great to be here today, making direct eye contact with Caitlin whilst I desperately stall for time.
Hello, this is Caitlin. Bringing up the rear. I play Corbin. He is.
That was sonically awful.
Sonic boom.
He is a human druid level 7. Woo!
Wow, exactly.
Sunday at the Metrodome.
I miss the Metrodome.
Kid seats still just $5.
$5.
Do they still do the monster truck rallies at US Bank?
Oh, no.
I'm at the US Bank Stadium, not the bank. The bank itself.
Oh, yeah.
At the bank.
Drive right through the vaults.
Yeah, boy.
That's how we take down capitalism.
One U.S. bank at a time.
All right, so what happened last time? You guys met up with Slake. It went great. You met the queen. Corbin threw some sludge into a bowl to talk to Vioni. You've decided to trust Slake for the moment. Hopefully they don't die. Loria came to visit you and told you that there is some grand conspiracy within the palace, and that someone in the palace is working with the pirates. And she asked you guys to do your heroing and figure out who it is. That is where you are. Alright, so after about a half an hour, there is another knock at your door. And Dodson comes in, and he has a little card on a tray, and he stops in the doorway, and he says, "The Queen's seamstress is here to see you."
I look at the card. What does the card say?
It says, Branda Pomalars.
Nice.
Are you writing that down? You don't need to write that down.
You never know.
We all pick up our pens.
I don't want to forget Branda's name. It's
Okay.
so awkward.
Branda.
You don't need to write it down. Branda's never going to be a suspect.
You don't
She
know
might be
that.
our friend.
Kat, you're trying to lead us astray.
Exactly. Kat's trying to throw us off the scent. Throw us off Branda's scent.
I'm on to you, Branda.
I'm
you,
on
Branda.
brand.
Yep, so who wants to go first with Branda?
Me. I have questions.
Okay.
First of all, how dare you?
So Branda takes you back, and she has probably 12 assistants with her, and they each come in carting a pallet full of different fabrics. She takes you back to your rooms, Corbin, and she starts measuring you and holding up bolts of fabric to your complexion.
Hey, I got demands.
Well, sir, I will do your best to accommodate the demands. However, the fashions of the court are strict and ever-changing, so if you do not want to be laughed out of here, I suspect you would like to listen to my suggestions.
I'll assess them.
Anyway, what are your requests?
I want it black, and I need a boob window.
I see. Well, you're in luck. Black is currently one of the favored colors of the court. However, we will need to break that up with some pops of color. Do you have any preferences?
White.
That is not a color.
Red.
Shadow the Hedgehog over here.
He
has a boob window. Think
Yeah.
about it.
No.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Think about it.
Think about it.
Think about Shadow the Hedgehog and
You
think
guys-
about what you've done.
I quit the podcast.
But really think about it.
I don't want
think
to
about
think
it.
about it.
Think about the aesthetic that you just established for Corbin, where he's wearing red and black with a triangular shape on his chest, and really think about it.
You fucking think about it, Caitlin.
You think about what you've done.
You better fucking think about it.
I killed Caitlin.
All right. Well, okay. I'm gonna block this conversation from my memory. Let's continue.
I'm gonna think about it.
All right. So while Branda is working with Slake and Corbin to get their wardrobes sorted,
I want to read my diary.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mary, you want to watch me read something?
Mary shrugs. Just, oh, okay.
You can read it too, if you can. I don't know.
All right, so Mary sits on the sofa next to you to try and read over your shoulder
Okay.
as you open up the goddess's book.
I have advantage, right?
Yep, you have advantage. You're in a town with a library.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 19.
Okay. You want to see if you roll a 20?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so you see a vision in front of you. It's picking up right where the last one left off, where you had seen a man kissing the goddess's hand. And then you see him smile, and you see a mouth full of onyx obsidian teeth. And the goddess says, "I should have known you would turn up eventually. What do you want?" And she takes her hand from his, and he straightens up. He says, "My love, I have come to offer you a solution to our long-standing problems." And then the vision fades. And here is what is written on this page in the diary. "Moonin died today. We burned her body and returned it to the sky. I couldn't bear the thought of her being buried in the ground. When mortals die, they go to Eol's embrace. What happens when a god dies? Where do they go? Where do we go? I'm one of them now. I must remember that. Sir Nunas spends much of his time in the forest with his kin. He wishes to pass on his knowledge to them before he goes. He wishes for them to teach the citizens magic. If we are ever attacked, he worries that I alone would not be able to defend the island. He's right, of course. He believes I should be protected by a personal guard once he's gone, but I can't stand the idea of being babysat at every turn. But if I fell, so would the island. So I have agreed to let the animal tribes train warriors to protect me. Cernunnos says that the symbolism will lend me power. There is power in symbols. I wish I could spend more time with him, but I feel so thin these days. Like my soul has been stretched too far. I pray, but I'm not even sure who I'm praying to. My mother forces Talia, but I have a feeling she's not fond of me. I stole her children's power. I'm weary. I must find some way to gain more power before our enemies manage to breach the island again.
Fuck, okay.
And you feel a surge of power which you can use to shape into a new spell.
Okay, cool. So I got my power. I turn to Maeri and I'm like, so how is that for you?
Maeri shrugs. She signs. Honestly, I can't read anything on the page.
What does it look like?
She squints at the page and then shakes her head. It just doesn't look like anything to me. She puts her arms around herself and looks out the window and then takes her arms away and signs, I just wonder what she felt she had to hide from me.
I mean, okay, I have a two-pronged argument. Number one, I think it's not about you. This specific thing has a psychic link with me. I don't think anyone can understand it but me. Two, you know every language. You can just not know one language.
Maeri laughs at that. And then shakes her head. I get the feeling that she knew something was going to happen, or else she wouldn't have left you that book, and I wonder, I don't know.
Do you think she didn't know you would be around?
She shrugs. I guess you'll need to keep reading. Fran, are you wearing Alonia's amulet?
Yes.
You are? Okay. So just as you're about to close the book, you feel a tugging in your amulet.
What the okay. I, half close it and then open it again.
You feel this tugging at your amulet still, and it doesn't go away. And if you close the book, it does.
If I,
Are you suffering from high-quality podcasts? You see, quality podcasts stimulate parts of your brain, leading to an irksome condition called thinking. But suffer no more, my friend. Introducing Discount Storytime's blend of fictional nonsense and rancid gibberish to provide soothing relief. Try Discount Storytime today. Available on most podcast catchers and at discountstorytime.com.
Consult your healthcare provider before listening to Discount Storytime. Not intended to treat unicyclitis, pickleball liver, or jittering expectations.
bend down so the amulet can touch the book. Does anything happen?
Yes. There is a flurry of pages, as if there were sections that were stuck together that are suddenly unstuck.
What the fuck?
So that amulet would have belonged to Torva originally?
Yeah, it did.
Why would Torva's amulet... It's weird.
Well, they may have been in cahoots a little bit.
I think they might have been in a little bit of cahoots and canoodles.
Yeah.
What
some
the
cahoots
fuck?
and canoodles.
Well, he is Mary's dad, so there was some canoodling.
Oh, cat!
Cahoots and canoodles.
Oh, canoodles and cahoots.
All right.
Can I read them?
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you page through them, it looks like there's just suddenly way more entries than any time you had looked at the book previously.
Huh. So, like, these will be, like, more things that'll be revealed, like, as I read, or can I read something now?
Yeah, you want to read something now? Do you want to just choose a page at random or go to the next one that opens for you?
I'll choose, like, the first new one that opened.
Okay. It reads, "We had another visitor today. I am too trusting with these newcomers. I had not realized their very presence on my island would open the door for him. I do not even wish to put his name on paper for fear it will give him more power here. As it stands, he can hardly manifest. My influence is too strong and his is far too weak. He laughed when he saw me, called me a child. This body is well into its teens, but still, he did everything he could to make me feel small. I will not be cowed by him. I cast him out immediately, but it won't take long before he's able to manifest again. I cannot cast the tieflings out. I told them they were welcome, that I would shelter them from the world below, but I must be careful not to allow his influence to spread further. I've asked the city guard to be on alert for any other forms of worship in the city, and to bring any cases directly to me. I will not allow this sanctuary to become another playground for the gods' petty squabbles.
Huh.
Do you want to read the next page?
I mean, I want to know all the information that I can know.
Okay, all right. The next page that opened up reads as follows. He asked me an interesting question today. I know, I should have cast him out immediately, but he is far too weak for me to even really consider him a threat. I let him talk. Who's the winner? What an odd question. I keep turning it over in my mind. I had thought that I had won when I removed myself and my people from the world below, but I am still battling. I fight with my citizens, with my clergy, with the other gods who would manipulate me. I fight with my own mortal spirit, clinging to each life for as long as I can. What is the game? The longer I live, the more patterns I see turning in the world. There are different pieces, but the same game. Something I still cannot make out the shape of. He says he knows not the will of the forces, but I do not know if I should believe him. I don't trust him. So if this is all a game, who is the winner? Who benefits from everything here? It is not me, it is not the gods, it is not the mortals. Who's the winner? And then the pages all sort of flurry again and begin sealing themselves back together, and the journal closes on you.
Well,
Corbin bursts out of his bedroom. Covered in
like fabric and
just
pins.
fabric and pins.
like-
I can't work like this.
Fran like blinks and is like, oh. Corbin, what's wrong?
She poked me.
Maeri comes over and starts soothing you, Corbin, and she heals your little stuck finger.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Mary.
She ushers you away from Fran, who clearly needs a moment or two to process this.
Oh man, well, I pull Corbin and Mary into a huddle, whispering vaguely, team meeting. And I tell them like everything that I just read. That's not that I'm calling you that.
All right.
All women are queens, Fran.
That's Does Mary have any thoughts?
Maeri is just sort of in shock. So, Slake, Darius comes skittering into the room under the door and starts chirping wildly at you, squeaking about something that he was maybe listening in on.
Oh, what's wrong, little buddy?
Squeaks and squeaks and squeaks and squeaks, and then skitters back out under the door.
Give me a minute. And I assume that I'm midway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to, like, just interrupt them and, you know, like...
You're so much better than Corbin. You're so much more polite. So you let them unpin you from your trappings and...
Yeah, although I do want to address something with that.
Yeah. Kat,
what are Torva's, like, colors as far as...
Purple and black.
Yeah, okay. And would his people who are worshiping Torva within the city, would they be, like... People in the court, would they wear that?
They might.
Okay.
They might, I mean, but also... That is also just like a combination of colors, so...
Okay, cool. Well, I think, yeah, I would like to kind of have my outfit in those, in that palette.
We're gonna be
Purple
mad
and
suspicious
black?
of you.
Yeah, we're gonna be so suspicious, but I know what you're doing and I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So Darius is just sort of hovering at the edge of Fran and Mary's parlor. He's been doing a little beetly eavesdropping.
Okay. And is the I'm assuming like the door is closed?
There is no door there. It's just an archway. So
Oh, okay. Well, do I hear anything coming from inside?
you just hear them huddled and whispering.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to listen in on the conversation.
Gonna try and eavesdrop. Okay. Why don't you just roll a perception check just to see how good your hearing is?
I think with my perception, that's gonna be like a 15.
Okay. Yeah, you catch some good snatches of it, and that's continue their conversations. So, Mary shrugs. Mary signs. That is a good question. Who's the winner?
It is a good question.
I'm a nihilist.
Corbin.
I'm a nihilist too, which is why I think that people are acting on their own desires
I agree completely, Fran.
or forces or whatever. But somebody's got to win at the end.
Well, it's not gonna be Torva.
Maybe not.
It was gonna be us.
Mary signs, I hope so.
Fran fucking looks at her necklace. She's just like, what the fuck?
Not to be a member of the court, but like, who's playing the game?
She mentioned the forces.
Mary nods and signs, we have not considered their role in this.
Aren't they just like non-sentient influences?
Mary shakes her head. No, from my understanding, they're observers. They created this world, and they created mortals, and they created the gods to protect them, but they never say why.
Why would they give power to people or gods they don't even like? She said that Talia was not fond of her. Did they have control over that?
Mary shrugs. I assumed that my force of godhood comes from Talia, but maybe it has just been passed down from Talia to the beasts, to Kai, and then to me. I don't know.
Maybe that bit about the gods supposed to be protecting the mortals is just like something that got made up to make the mortals not feel like shit.
Yeah.
Mary shakes her head. Well, maybe, but mortals were created first. And then gods...
Yeah, fuck the gods! Sorry, Mary.
The gods were created to... Well, during a disagreement between the forces. Some believed that mortals should be left to their own devices, but others felt that mortals would... Well, that they would create chaos if left unchecked, and the gods were a compromise. Rather than the forces having a direct hand in events. The gods are... We are meant to be their actors.
So is someone just trying to win this argument?
Mary shrugs.
Also, I don't understand. If you're gonna make something to prevent chaos, why would you just make the same exact thing you made originally, but it doesn't die and it has crazy powers? That's like the stupidest thing.
Mary gives a big ol' shrug.
That's nuts. Forces are dumb.
And there's something else I'm thinking about, too. If Kai wasn't praying to Talia, who was she praying to? She said even she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Who do you pray to, Mary?
Mary! Who is your god?
Who is your god?
Pray to them! Pick a god and pray!
Mary shakes her head. I pray to Talia, but I direct my prayers through, as Cecilia and Cordelia taught me. I direct them through the spirits of the beast gods. And she looks down at the floor as she says this. I don't know if that's even true, I suppose, considering who they turned out to be.
How did we learn how to pray? Were we taught to pray to, like, I prayed to Sir Nunes?
You pray to Mary. I mean, you guys all...
We
everybody
just pray to the goddess.
Yeah, everybody on Estra prayed to the goddess.
Okay.
The religion on Estra was very monotheistic.
Okay.
Well, as long as we get to kill Dashing Dawson at the end of the day, I'm happy.
On some level, we win.
Yeah.
As long as Dashing Dawson doesn't win.
Yeah.
So you guys have your fittings. Maeri and Fran, you get draped in beautiful cloth and poked and prodded with pins and needles.
Can I ask what she said that the fashions are extremely set? Like, what are the fashions?
Okay, yes. So
Yeah.
for women, the gowns currently are slim, with, slim skirts and long trains. And then for men, it's a very similar style of, like, the coats are cut with very long tails, and they're sort of slim cut robes. There is a great call for intricate beading and embroidery, especially on the tails of coats and the trains of dresses. And,
Can I get fish?
yeah. Oh, hell yeah. You can request fish.
Very cool.
Those-
my God. An octopus.
Corbin requested birds,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he wants them to be embroidered in black, so you can't even see.
Embroidery.
He wants those embroidered.
There is also currently a fashion of elaborate headdresses, especially for women. It's like, how do you want to combine these?
I mean, I don't have to.
You don't have to, but I didn't want to put you into a gender box.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, primarily, what I'm looking for here, I want to look like a dashing villain. Ooh, are there any headdresses that could give me sort of something reminiscent of either antenna or, say, like a stag beetle setup?
Yeah, you can ask them to make one.
Hell yeah.
Love that.
Yep.
So good.
Loving it. All right, so they'll come back tomorrow with day wear. Evening wear will follow, and they will make sure that you have proper ball attire by the end of the week, as the queen will be throwing a ball, so you'll need that. But as they're talking you through all the different looks, you get a very good sense, that you are about to be inundated with a lot of clothing. There is a time of day for each type of clothing, and there is an occasion for each type of clothing, and then there's different clothing for different occasions that are at different times of day.
Oh my God.
And one of the seamstress assistants, Fran, when you're sort of asking about this, she stresses, she says, you cannot wear an evening gown to a day event. You will be laughed out of the court. If you have questions, you should ask your valet. He will be able to instruct you.
Yeah, Batson Datson. I got it. Welcome to the mid-roll. Okay, we're back on schedule, boys. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I've been working to get this episode out on time. I'd like to thank our sponsor today, and that is Elderwood Academy. Elderwood Academy are artisans who craft amazing gaming products, including dice towers, dice trays, dice boxes, deck boxes, dice, and more. All the products are crafted to look like spellbooks, scroll cases, codexes, and other awesome fantasy gear. If you hop on over to their site, elderwoodacademy.com, you can check it out now. And I'm here to tell you that this stuff actually looks like super, super dope. They even have a keychain product that holds mini dice inside, which is honestly something I really need because I always forget my dice and I never forget my keys because I cannot leave my home without them. You can choose your artwork and your color of dice and whether you want the keychain loop or not. It's really cool. Again, you can find that product and many more at elderwoodacademy.com, and be sure to let them know that DSPN sent you. I also want to thank our beautiful, beautiful iTunes reviewers today. That goes out to my beautiful son, Zamer100, my beautiful son, Mermaid Space Queen, my beautiful son, Carefully Chaotic, who said that our podcast smells of lavender and witch hazel, and my beautiful son, B-Dubs Fairbanks, who apparently we met at Gen Con. Hi, sup? I don't know who you are in particular, but good. My beautiful sons come in all genders, just FYI. Thank you so much also to our beautiful new and increasing Patreon donors. That goes out to Joy, Michaela, Landon, Patrick, Kelsey, Alex, Sam, AOD Industries, Brandon, Landon, and Brandon. Brandon, I might have thanked you last time, but still, thank you. Y'all are the greatest in the world. Thank you so much. We talk on the regular about how amazed and touched we are by the generosity and incredibleness of our patrons. So seriously, thank you guys. Last of all, a message to our beautiful Chantel. I love you more than life itself, Chantel. This message, Chantel, has reminded me, Chantel, that I need to text you, Chantel, and hang out this week, Chantel. So, get ready, Chantel! The code word is Don Key? Don K? Go!
All right, is there anything else you guys want to do with the day?
We should go.
We should go try to find Shaw.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we should go try to find Shaw.
We got a friend here.
Yeah.
He's very,
He's super smart.
powerful.
Yeah, he's he's so strong.
Oh, wow. He sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And he's handsome, too.
Yeah, he's so handsome. He's older than us, though, so.
Yeah.
Where do you guys want to look for Shaw?
At the university.
Okay. So you guys head out to the university. The doors are shut pretty tight. And it looks like they are,
What?
yeah.
I knock on the doors.
There's a long pause, and then a smaller side door opens. And a gnome woman pokes her head out. She goes, can I help you?
Hey, what's the deal?
We're here to see Shaw.
I'm sorry, the university's closed for the evening.
Huh?
There were pirate attacks in the city. We want to wait for the all clear before we open up the university's collection again. You said you were looking for Shaw?
Yeah, Shaw.
Yeah.
Professor Shaw Kaio?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. His name's Shaw.
I'm afraid Professor Shaw has not yet returned from his expedition into the... Well, I don't know that I can say where he is exactly, but he's not yet returned. His colleagues have returned from Danmar, though.
So he's just been gone for like
What?
6 months?
What's he been doing?
Is he okay?
You should ask his colleagues. If you'd like to step inside, I will summon them.
Okay, I go to go inside her small door.
Yeah.
It is a bit comical because it is a gnome-sized door.
Yeah.
And so you guys just sort of squeeze through.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very taken aback like this. She's like, oh, no, I mean, you don't need to come. I would summon them to the gate. Oh, you're already inside.
If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for us.
Yeah.
Come on, Slake.
Get in here.
I'm already there.
And then you guys get in through this little door, and you're in it looks just like a little receptionist's room. The ceilings aren't of normal height, but the furniture is all low. And the gnome woman sort of mutters something and says, this way, please. And she leads you through a normal-sized door and into the grand foyer of the university. And immediately, you see, you understand, and you feel why all those scholars were so disparaging about the Danmar University. Because the foyer of this university opens up into one of its libraries. It is a great circular hall with a chandelier dangling from the center of it, and lots of little spaces to sit and read. And you see a few students who are hanging out there, just chatting, reading books, doing some studying.
Wow.
Corbin keeps his eyes peeled for anybody who looks like a young, hot king of Danmar.
Gran spins around in the sound of music.
Yep. Yep, sounds right. Sounds good. How does Slake feel about books?
I mean, Slake's definitely looking around excitedly, just because this is kind of a new experience.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hoping there's an entomology section.
All right, so after a few minutes in the foyer, a familiar face comes round one of the corners. And it is Amina, Professor Shaw's research assistant, who you met at the University of Danmar. She goes, oh my goodness! And then she switches to Old Common. She goes, I greet thee! welcome to our fine place.
I love your place.
It's great here. We are talking in New Common, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Oh, your new common has greatly improved since last I saw you.
Yeah, we're super smart.
It was easy.
so It's not that difficult to learn.
Oh, and who's your friend here?
Oh, hi. Pleased to meet you, ma'am. I'm Slake. Just joined up.
They're our intern.
Yeah.
Wow, well, no shame in that. We all have to start somewhere. I know I've fetched a few too many teas before I got my research assistant position. Please, come, have a seat. Tell me of your adventures.
Before we do that, please, is Shaw okay?
Yeah.
We heard that he's just been not here for 6 months.
Is he alive?
Is he dead or what?
Oh, he's fine, I assume. This sort of thing is not uncommon for him, I'm afraid. He tends to go off on an adventure and tell us all about it only when he remembers to. Oh, but he did send us this, and she reaches into her robes and pulls out a small illustration. And it looks like it's Shaw standing with some orcs in a desert. It's just a little illustration of them.
Oh my god.
Send him a postcard. So good. There's writing on the back that it's very, very cramped and very, very small, and it seems that he's just putting as much information about everything that he's seen and all of the ruins of Estra that he's been investigating and all his new orc friends. And
Are they the orcs that we knew?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
you'd
amazing.
recognize Nodric as one of the orcs.
Oh, it's not Rick.
Aww,
I miss them.
not Rick.
Oh.
And Slake, you would have some familiarity with the desert orcs. Nodric is he's their chief, so you'd know him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, this guy must be kind of a big deal, huh?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
our best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I suppose she wanted us to tell her about our
Oh, yeah.
adventures. So we do that, but we make ourselves sound really good. And I would assume that this is also Slake's first time hearing about what we've been doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
How does Slake feel about all this?
I mean, Slake's this whole time just been incredibly fucking intimidated. They are super impressed. They think you guys are super fucking cool.
Wait
and
till they see us in action.
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have a super, I think, firm understanding or grasp on how magic works. And so they think that you guys can basically just do anything.
Yes.
Very good. And I make as we go through, I make illustrations of
Oh, you make
know.
illusions?
Yeah, little illusions, little slideshow.
Perfect.
We're a romance novel always, and Fran is really muscular, and she's in everyone. Corbin's laying at her feet.
Corbin does voices, and he always makes Fran's voice just sound ridiculous.
Like it does.
Just ridiculous.
Real annoying.
And Amina she listens to all this absolutely rapt, and she sighs and says, "Wow, you're heroes out of legend. It's amazing. I should be taking notes." And she's immediately begins scrambling for some ink and paper and realizes she doesn't have any on her, and just stares around the library in desperation. The desperation of a student who didn't bring a pen to the lecture.
Oh, man.
Well,
Cool. Corbin wants to say, "Hey, is Prince Azam around?
Oh,
I said I'd say hi to him for his dad."
well, no, I'm afraid he's not. He doesn't attend the university.
I thought he went to the school.
that noise.
Well, he was attending the university, but I'm afraid he hasn't attended classes in quite some time.
Why?
You would have to ask him. He was attending my introduction to anthropological analysis class, but he just stopped attending after a while.
Do you know where he is?
I assume he's at the palace.
I
I
don't know if this guy's gonna be a good influence on you, Corbin.
think he's been kidnapped.
Maybe he went to horse camp.
What?
What is that? Is that
nothing,
like
never
a
mind.
prison for horses?
Why would you say that?
Forget I said anything.
All right, I will.
Mary looks at you, just like in signs. Wait, so are the horses the ones who are camping?
Mary, put it from your mind.
Mary, don't let it poison you.
But how do horses camp? They don't-
Mary!
You'll drive yourself crazy.
Why would humans go to horse camp?
Clay feels bad for having brought up horse camp.
Corbin gives her back a little pat and says, shh, shh.
Very cool. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
She was the one who told us a lot about like the history of the gods and stuff.
Yeah, her specialty is lost myths.
Okay.
So, like,
oh, damn.
yeah, that's what her.
We're talking to the right person.
Holy shit.
Yeah, her area of study is looking into like what is missing of the historical and the mythological record.
So, Amina, I seem to remember that you know a lot about lost myths and god stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm writing my dissertation on.
We have been recently wondering about the forces.
Oh, that is a very good question. Let me see here. She waves down a haggard-looking undergrad, and she says, "Can you hunt down for me? Let's see, I'm going to need... Oh, let me write you a list." And then she looks around and goes, "Oh, shoot, do you want... Can I..." And then she just, like, takes his writing materials out of his hands slowly and begins writing him a list. She goes, "Will you please fetch these for me? Thank you so much." Anyway, the forces. So, I have sent... I'm sorry, I don't know his name. Oh, I'm becoming worse than Shaw. He'll be back with some reference materials that I can send back with you. Where are you staying, by the way?
Palace.
You know, just like the palace.
Just like the palace.
Just like where, you know, like where the queen fucking lives.
Yeah, like in her room.
We're not staying in the queen's room, Mary's side. So, well, the forces are a very ambiguous characters in mythology. How far back do you want me to go?
I mean, from the beginning and with an emphasis on anything that they would want.
Yeah.
Well, no one really knows what they want. That's been a big question throughout scholarship. I mean, why were any of us created? Why create a world?
We did this already. I've been having an existential crisis all day.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Before the forces, there were giants. And let me go back even further. Before there was anything, there is what was called in a lot of scholarship, it's called what is not. So we exist on the realm of what is, and then there is another realm beyond us, the realm of what is not. And in the realm of what is not, there's Avadel, or the Green Mountain in the common tongue, and that's where the forces are. And then there's Galdel, which is the barren rock, basically. And that's where kind of everything else is. So giants and demons all come from Galdel. And then Avalis sits in between them, and we are the realm of what is. So the forces, they created our world out of the bodies of 3 giants. And so these giants, they roamed around the void until they came across this formless pit of magic that the forces had been collecting. When these giants came across the fledgling world that would one day become Avalis, it was nothing more than just oceans and magic, and that is the preferred food of a giant, is formless, delicious magic. They tried to, well, eat our world, I guess, but Rael, the force of war, took his lasso of flame and subdued the creatures. But you can't kill a giant, so he called upon Certus, the force of knowledge, who put them into an everlasting slumber. And then Talia, force of nature, who turned their flesh into earth. And then all that was left was their skeletons, protecting their still beating hearts, which pumped life into the world. And so Certus then shaped this blood and life into the minds of mortals, and Talia made their bodies out of the giant's flesh and shaped their varying forms, Fen leaned down and breathed life into their eyes, and Yol pressed a hand on their hearts, and that claimed each one to return to the world that they had created. And so it was agreed that the forces would each make gods to guide the world. But not all of the forces created gods to help mortals, which is where we get Rael, who made gods which would occupy mortals with thoughts of war and glory. And then who knows why Odile made their gods.
Which gods are those?
The trickster and the thief, the god of secrets, Hetlia, Pavia, the truce, which actually sort of is a weird one in that pantheon, but Pavia's been long gone from the world for many years, so we're not really sure how she fits into all of the grand scheme of things.
So
I look down at myself.
I'm made of giants.
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean,
You're made of giants too?
we don't actually know that. It could all just be an elaborate metaphor, you know?
Ugh.
So could all of the mortals, like, conglomerate and turn back into a giant?
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, really, it's just one big myth. It's more likely that we were all, once upon a time, like monkeys, and then we just sort of became better monkeys.
That's a very specific idea.
That's like...
No, that's insane.
That's crazy.
It's not a very popular theory, but... but there's a lot of promising evidence.
So, metaphorically speaking,
Slake knows about metaphors.
if these... Well, yes, I do, thank you. If these giants were to wake up, what would that mean?
Well, again, we don't know that it's actually very unlikely that there are actually sleeping giants underneath the earth, but
as a metaphor.
Metaphorically, yeah, I guess if you woke the giants, then one of the continents would just walk away?
That seems bad.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
I'm having a very specific and uncomfortable mental image.
So, why they created the world, or for what purpose, it's not really clear. It just sort of, all of the mythology just kind of says that they did it. Some theorize that our world is a byproduct of them protecting Avadel. That they just used the parts of the giants that they slayed so that the giants couldn't come back and attack them. Others say that the giants were lured here, and that our world was created for a greater purpose, but there's no real theory about what that purpose might be. And then if you start factoring gods into it, why the gods were created and why they chose those specific things. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting sort of into other fields of study here.
So these giants are dead. The forces defeated them.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Here's something really crazy. We don't have a lot of dwarven literature past the last age. But in what we do have, there's a lot of talk about the mountain's heart. And some people theorize that is the heart of a giant. And that they're still here underneath the mountains of Avalis. But there's not really any proof for that because we haven't had contact with the dwarven civilizations in over an age, so...
I'm about to go mountain climbing.
Like a big old cicada.
Exactly.
What?
What's that?
What?
Cicadas? They lie dormant under the ground for a really long time, and then eventually they emerge.
They wake up?
Well, yeah. They gotta complete their life cycle.
Corbin looks directly into Fran's eyes.
Fran is looking back and she puts both her hands on Corbin's shoulders.
Corbin grabs Fran's ears.
We put our foreheads together and we're making eye contact like 2 inches away.
We're psychically linked right now.
Mary looks over at you, Slake, and signs, I wish I could say they weren't usually like this.
No worries. Did I miss something?
Mary shrugs.
I pushed Corbin away as if I never grabbed him.
Yeah, Corbin slaps your face a little bit.
Thanks for all the info, Amina. Funny question. Did Torva ever save the world?
Oh, that is actually a very interesting question. It's something I'm looking into as part of my dissertation.
Huh?
So, We don't have a lot of details about it. It was in the First Age, like before we really have any written records, especially post the last great calamity. But there are whispers that Torva was once a hero god, that he led the armies of men to a great victory, but we don't have any details on what that victory was or how it shaped the world that we live in today. But there's a great amount of historical significance. It's really fascinating. It's really just talked about in scraps of what we have remaining from that age. Something about exploration and a glorious purpose, but beyond that, really don't know much.
Do you know who he was fighting?
We don't. Some sources point to the gods underneath the forests of Avari, who he was fighting. You know, like, specifically, there's some writing that he fought with Ruva the Thunder and Sertanus the Deep. However, other sources, some that are closer to the original source material, say that it is Avari himself that Torva was fighting.
So he would have been fighting an actual force of something.
Yes, but it's not clear if he was fighting Avari as a concept, you know, the concept of the Tempest, or if he was actually fighting the actual force, which is a little bit more far-fetched, considering they don't exist in our realm.
I mean, it's Torva, though. Seems like he'd go for it.
What I'm hearing are a lot of water-based gods.
You feeling persecuted, Fran?
I'm feeling fucking worried, Corbin.
Well, Avari historically comes up in a lot of myths as an antagonist, or it's not just water-based gods, although those are the gods underneath him. But Avari represents the tempest, the cruelty of nature, and the unpredictability of the natural world. So some scholars theorize that Torva wasn't actually fighting in any armies or any gods or forces, that he was just trying to tame the natural world, which is actually more in line with his characteristics throughout the rest of the mythos.
So he would want to tame it so he could control it.
So we don't get killed by nature, we just kill each other.
I mean, maybe. That's one interpretation.
How much do you know about, say, Vioni and the, monsters?
Oh, well, that's not really my area of study, but I do have a colleague who was telling me about her research. And what she's saying is that Vioni, during her time as Torva's paramour, was one of the main creators of monsters, and that she really brought a lot of the worst things into the world. I know in your culture that monsters are a vital source of resources and have great religious significance. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
I mean, I think we all know that monsters are great, but,
Well, like I was saying, so Vioni, she's sort of known as this mother of monsters, but with her disappearance from the general mythos and pantheon of worship 2,000 years ago, it's unclear about if she has any hand in monsters of current day, or if the monsters of current day are her descendants. And it's greatly theorized that should she return, there would be a great resurgence of monstrous activity in the world, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I mean, I'm so sorry. I know that they're I'm so sorry. I don't speak with many orcs. And she is very red in the face. She feels very bad for offending your culture.
Hey, I mean, it's not really. Yeah, a lot of orcs, we rely on monsters as part of our whole system, but for me, it's actually a little more personal. So, don't worry about the whole culture thing. I mean, I get that monsters cause some problems. I just think they're a little misunderstood.
Well, you really offended them.
Look, it's cool. I know you don't. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you know this town pretty well?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not from here, but I've been living here for the last 100 years.
Oh my god. You know, anybody in the court?
I'm afraid I don't know that much. I'm pretty low ranking within my family at Ilfra, so they haven't really introduced me to the court. One of my cousins is supposedly here on state business, but from a much higher rank in our family than I am, so I don't know him personally.
Is that ambassador? I look at my list and I say, Maldrix?
Oh, yes, although actually he's not technically an ambassador. I think from what the last letter from my parents said, I think he's just following Ambassador Almenia? I guess he's trying to secure a marriage contract between their families, but it's not going well from what my parents say.
What the?
Not to spread court gossip. I am not a gossip. I'm not gossiping. This is not gossip, and it stays between us. But in the court of Ilfra, Maldrix is known to be kind of a rake, I guess.
What's that?
It means he's kind of a cad.
He's a tramp?
Yeah.
He's a tramp. But they love him. Breaks a new heart every day. All right.
So, exactly. So, no one's really sure. So no one's really sure if his intentions are actually to marry Ambassador Almenia, or if he's just being Maldrix.
Gross.
But
That
again,
sounds nasty.
I'm not gossiping. He is my superior in our family, and he holds a much higher rank than me, and if this got back to him that I was saying anything negative, it would be very bad for me.
He'll never know we spoke to you. I've already forgotten your name.
He'll
Yeah, we
never-
won't tell everybody that you told us that Maldrix is a rake. Hey!
Slake.
Intern. Shh.
Amina, don't worry. He'll never know anything again.
We're gonna kill Maldrix.
That's really threatening.
Oh, I wasn't.
Do you want us to kill that guy?
Do you want us to, though?
No!
Okay.
All right. So that's kind of the only thing you know about the court.
And yeah, I really don't keep much up with that. I mean, I've been working on this dissertation for the last 30 years, so it's kept me pretty busy.
So, one more thing. So, since Torva kind of, sort of caused the end of the world that one time, how do people kind of, justify, or, like, openly worshipping him?
Oh, well, you'd have to ask a Torva worshiper, and I won't claim to be one, but I've said a prayer to him every once in a while.
What?
A lot of us do. He's the god of overcoming any obstacle. So if you're a student who has a final with a very bad professor and you have not slept in 3 days and you've studied everything but you don't remember any of it, you might light a candle at his altar and hope to conquer your test.
No, you pray to Wavel, who's not an asshole.
She laughs. She says, no, I mean, praying to the gods it's a concept. It's not like I want Torva to come in here and strike down my test. I just want to be victorious in my endeavors.
Well, praying to him gives him power, so
Yeah.
just think about that.
You better not do it anymore.
And by the way, I'm looking at Slake very suspiciously after they both asked, did Torva once save the world? And how do people justify worshiping him openly?
Corbin's getting whiplash.
Well, Amina,
We'll come back and visit you.
yeah, we'll miss you, but I already forgot your name and I will not talk about what you said. And neither will Slake.
Yeah.
You can count on me to not talk about what you said. Which was
Slake!
Please. Anyway, Mary, got any questions?
Mary has been very quiet throughout all of this, and she just shakes her head.
Cool.
All right, Mary.
Are you... Well, let's talk outside. And for now, I think we leave. I mean, I would assume
Yeah.
it's getting, like, we talked to her about our whole journey and stuff. I would assume it's getting
we had a
fairly
long
late.
visit.
told her whole fucking life story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see through the lattice wall of the cave that the sun has set. The last purple wisps of light are fading on the horizon. And you guys can head back to your rooms at the palace.
I think we'll do that. And on our way back, I'm going to be like, Mary, are you okay? You seem quiet.
Mary looks at you, Fran, and shrugs and signs, well, I can't speak.
Okay, you know what I meant.
Mary.
She shrugs, and it's just that a lot of this, of what she's saying, doesn't match up with the books that I read when I was in the temple.
What did your book say? What was different?
Well, especially what she was saying about why you would worship a god. I always thought that the only reason you prayed to a god was to give them power, but it's silly. She shakes her head. She signs, of course, people pray to the gods for help in their day-to-day lives. It makes me wonder who I'm helping. It's something for me to think about. Don't worry yourselves.
Well, Maeri, reality dictates that you're right and she's wrong, so who cares?
Maeri just waves you off and signs, don't worry about it. It's fine. We should get some rest.
Okay, but you're, like, literally trying to save the world right now, but, like, who are you helping? Like, okay.
Yeah, Maeri.
I don't know, like, every mortal on this planet?
I just wonder if the people of Estra think of it that way.
Well, fuck them if they don't.
Yeah!
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Hey,
All
shut
right.
up, Slake!
You can't talk that way. That's our people.
We can say that, you can't.
Just because people prayed to Torva, like, do you think he, like, really spends his weekends helping randos pass tests?
She shrugs and then signs, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a god.
When someone prays to you, do you just feel a sense of power? You don't hear what they're asking for or what they're saying?
She shakes her head and then signs, I don't feel people pray to me. Except for that one time when you had everybody praying, and then I felt everything all at once, but I wasn't really conscious. I don't hear them.
Maybe they're using the wrong name. Should send a letter.
That's probably it, Corbin. She signs. You're probably right.
I'm gonna send him a fucking letter.
We're gonna send them letters,
We're
Maeri.
gonna send him a letter,
Don't you
Maeri.
worry.
They'll hear from us.
Also, as much as I hate to say it, this is maybe something we should ask Dawson about.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Well,
Fran, that's the worst thing you've ever fucking
well,
What would the valet know about it?
I said Dawson, not Dodson.
Hello, interchangeable.
Who's Dawson?
He's
It's the only the only guy on this accursed planet that's worse than Torva.
He's a demigod.
Yeah.
You'll know when you see him.
Yeah, you fucking will.
Oh, okay.
Maeri sort of drops behind Fran and Corbin and then signs to Slake. He's really not that bad.
Corbin feels like his hackles stand on end when
Yeah.
he doesn't know why, and
Yeah.
he feels like something has just broken inside of him.
So you guys head back to your rooms. Everybody goes to bed for the evening. There are fresh linens on your beds. There are big comfy duvets and like silk sheets and draped canopies. And on each of your nightstands there is a glass of water and a little midnight snack in case you get hungry.
Wow.
What kind of snack?
It's like bread with fruit in it and a soft cheese.
Can mine be like a little bowl of like fried cockroaches?
No, they're not gonna
Yeah,
accommodate
they're not gonna
that.
fucking do that, you sicko.
This isn't Danmar. They don't just feed you cockroaches because you ask for it.
Corbin sadly eats his cheese and says, I miss Danmar.
Hey there, listeners. It's Shane.
And Ishan, your hosts from the Total Party Thrill podcast, the newest addition to the Don't Split the Podcast network.
We talk topics that help you, dear listener, create and play better RPG games.
We have a back catalog of more than 150 weekly episodes,
And we got nominated for an Emmy for episode 11, Social Contracts.
In episode 154, we talked about crossing the moral event horizon. How evil is too evil?
We also recap our home games, like the 40k Rogue Trader campaign, Dynasty Unwarranted.
But that's mainly just you trying to kill us all. In your defense, our characters are greedy idiots.
Don't forget the 3 years we spent in Eberron playing Morning Glory, your 5th edition D&D campaign.
We also review new RPGs and books, and every episode we build a 5th edition D&D character in the Character Creation Forge.
You might check out the Pint-Sized Punisher from episode 119, a halfling with a bad attitude, and 14 levels of Barbarian.
So to recap, Total Party Thrill, RPG advice, campaign recaps, and D&D characters built by your dashing hosts every single week.
What more could you possibly want?
To get back to the actual show?
Oh yeah, let me just hit this button, and here you go.